He has soiled the hands of God in him. That's why he has come to say, thank you, Lord, for this position that I have gotten through you. I know it's human facilitation, but then God is always happy. The governor promised that he was going to encourage them, support the university so that it can attain its dreams.
Also speaking, the celebrant, Vice Chancellor, Federal University Okari, Professor Jude Samani Rabo said the event was organized for him to show God Almighty how grateful he is for the opportunity to contribute his quota to the development of education in Nigeria, especially his present position, knowing that he was not the only person who looked for the office, but God gave to him. The Vice Chancellor said, despite the thanksgiving, his greatest form of thanksgiving is to operate in righteousness and reiterate his readiness to lead the university to greater heights and sought for prayers to succeed, noting that his appointment came as a result of prophecy.
My first state meeting, I was the one who prayed, and I handed over the state to God Almighty for leadership in my prayer. Now I've handed the whole university to God. I'm glad that God has given me this opportunity to give these thanks. But more than this thanksgiving, my greatest form of thanksgiving is to operate in righteousness.
Professor Juturabo appreciated the Taraba state government and his host community for the enabling environment to operate, insisting that both God, federal, state government, and the host community would not regret having him in the university at the end of his period in office. Delivering his sermon at the event, the guest speaker, Apostle Usman Wali, said the VC has made a wise choice by returning to God at a time like this, noting that no one can survive outside God, hence the need for people to return to God in earnestly. The man of God emphasized that the end of the world is at hand and charged the congregation and the entire world to focus on God for their salvation.
Any heart that does not acknowledge the faithfulness of God, that heart will never experience the glory of God. Because God wants a heart that when it receives something, acknowledge, God, you have done it. You have done it. Even before God did that to you, you still appreciate it.
The representative of the Okari Traditional Council, the Akuncho of Andoidi, Manu Joli Angu Masaibi, commended the Vice Chancellor for returning to thank God, saying, it is the best thing to be done as it will pave way for more success in his life. Highlight of the event was presentation of gifts by the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN Okari chapter, as presented by the National Vice President of CAN and CRCM President, Reverend Caleb Solomon Ahima, and prayers for the VC and his family. The event has in attendance the Taraba State PDP Chairman, retired Colonel Rantala Kefas, State Commissioners of Information, Justice and Treasury Institution, Barrister Danjuma Adamu, Barrister Sam Ada, and Honorable Edward Baraya, as well as member representing Okari 1 at the state constituency, Honorable Payo Sabo, and other top government functionaries. From Okari, Jonathan Ayibatiko, TV Taraba News.
The campaign against deforestation in Taraba State suffered a setback in Kurmi local government area of the state over the week. This followed the attack on campaigners and journalists on the train, which also brought forth the growing division among the youth over the issue. Our correspondent takes on the Taraba State Commissioner for Environment, Alhaji Lawan Ibrahim, on the controversy. The report.
The confrontation between the sensitization theme and the hoodlums in Krumi, which led to the attack on the bus they were traveling in, could have been avoided if the council authorities in Krumi local government area had earlier reconciled the two fractions. When contact on the deforestation sensitization crisis in Krumi, the Taraba State Commissioner for Environment, Alhaji Lawan Ibrahim, described the sensitization campaign embarked upon by the youth as illegal because councillors have no such authority constitutionally.
before you go out for sensitization, you must collaborate with the ministry first, either individual, group, association, or what. And then before you go out, we, the ministry, you must have our letter. You must write to His Excellency, this group want to go out for sensitization. What is his own take about it because of the insecurity? So there is no any letter emanating from my ministry. So as such, I don't know anything about it.
According to the commissioner, the state ministry did not grant approval to any group to embark on such sensitization campaign, adding that the ministry only signed partnership agreement with 2 bodies on Madrid.
Anybody that want to engage in cutting of these trees, according to His Excellency, must have a letter of memorandum of understanding with us before you do the job. And that one, they are doing it association, by association, not individual. Like we have the Madrid Timber Buyers Association, they are collaborating with us. We have the Proma, Wood Processing and Marketing Association of Nigeria. We have a memorandum of understanding with them.
The commissioner insisted that the ministry is not working in collaboration with the local government councils in the state on the issue of deforestation, pointing out that any group engaged in any campaign on the issue of deforestation in Taraba State is on its own and should be avoided. Dorcas Ngantem, TV, Taraba News.
The Executive Secretary, Taraba State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Alhaji Aminu Jaro Hassan, has advised Tarabans to be conscious of clean environment this rainy season in the fight against malaria scourge. The Executive Secretary made the call this Monday in Jalingo while giving an update on the 2021 World Malaria Day. Correspondent Naomi Philip Samuel has details of the report.
Malaria is one of the diseases that has claimed so many lives globally and for so long, hence the need for the World Health Organization to draw the attention of the world leaders to step up the fight against malaria and kick malaria out campaign. Therefore, the 2021 World Malaria Day was not different because it further educates communities on necessary measures to take to prevent malaria infection. These are contaminated water, bushy environments, and sleeping without mosquito nets, especially children. The Executive Secretary further speaks on symptoms of malaria.
And the simple signs and symptoms of malaria range from fever, high fever of more than 38 degrees centigrade, vomiting, nausea, loss of appetite, and lots of other associated symptoms that tend to most especially bring the child or the person that is infected to an uncomfortable state of his own body, which may result into either diarrhea, vomiting, and other disorders. Malaria is one of the #1 killers of most especially under 5 children across the globe. And I think you cannot even compare the number of people that died as a result of malaria to the number of people that are dead as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. But what stands to be so different is the approach in coronavirus and then that of malaria.
He advised pregnant women and parents to protect their children, who are the most vulnerable, to ensure that they do not neglect visiting the hospitals at all times to stay safe. Answering questions from TV Taraba News, Alhaji Aminu Jaro Hassan admitted that for over a year now, world leaders have shifted attention from malaria and other diseases to COVID-19 pandemic because of its deadly outbreak.
Attention of the whole world is geared towards coronavirus pandemic. But be it as may be, malaria being one of the major killers of under 5, pregnant mothers and the elderly will not be left out without giving it much attention. It's so much desired. And I think as an agency, we are doing all we could in collaboration with the State Ministry of Health to ensure that we create the required awareness. We provide all the prophylactic drugs for use in our health facilities. We also distribute nets for the under 5 to use in their respective homes so as to curtail, if not bring to the barest minimum, the scourge of malarial infection as it occurs across the state.
Naomi Philip Samuel, TV Taraba News.
TV Taraba News will continue shortly after the break. Stay tuned.
The Rescue Mission government, led by His Excellency Architect Darius Dixon Isheku, is matching words with actions in Taraba State. Thanks be to God, 5 years of rescue work is proven by massive sustainable implementation of our promise in the rescue agenda. The complete construction of Wukari Sekondi Road in southern Taraba, the Mararaba Pantisawa Road in Yoro local government on the full construction activity, and the ongoing dualization of Edge-to-Edge Jalingo City Main Road with a flyover bridge by His Excellency Architect Darius Dixon Isheku is just a part bouquet of testimony to behold by all Tarabans. The digitization of TV Taraba and a touch of rescue to TSBS and other media houses has put Taraba State on the world map. Our government is committed to improving the health sector. Agriculture remains paramount to us and our dear people at all levels. Education has and will continue to receive boost from the rescue touch, as security for all Tarabans is a task we are all conscious about. Dear Tarabans, we have successfully rescued and revived all the companies under the Taraba Investment and Properties Limited and employed seasoned acclaimed professionals for daily production with a view to attract income. The massive employment of youth in Taraba State is an evidence that the Rescue Mission government of His Excellency Architect Darius Dixon Isheku is not building castles in the air. We are working and Taraba is progressing. Support the ongoing works under the Darius-led administration by being peaceful and patriotic for the progress and prosperity of Taraba State.
Welcome back. Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary, Taraba State Primary Health Care Development Agency, Haji Aminu Jaro Hassan, says members of the academic community and media practitioners are scheduled for the next COVID-19 vaccination exercise in the state. Alhaji Aminu Jaro Hassan disclosed this in an interview with TV Taraba News in Jalingo. Our reporter Naomi Philip Samuel again completes the report.
The Executive Secretary observed that as professionals who deal with people daily, academians and journalists deserve a jab of the COVID-19 vaccine to ensure their safety and safety of the public. Alhaji Aminu Joro Hassan expressed optimism that the second phase of the COVID-19 vaccination will soon take up, encourage the targeted groups in the state to turn out en masse for the life-saving exercise.
We have now removed the health as part of strategic people that are going to benefit, but we have now strategized to ensure that all frontline workers are going to be vaccinated, which include members of the media, lecturers from the university colleges, College of Health Technology, National Union of Road Transport Workers, Federal University Wukari, Kororofa University, Health Technology Takum, and a host of other frontline workers that provide services to the populace, including market association and market women that are there. We are in the receipt of additional 4,020 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, and we are fully ready and prepared to deploy. We have already strategized in the distribution and the deployment. All that remains is the commencement of the vaccination, which has already commenced today and will also continue to do that up to the coming 1 week.
He added that the performance of Taraba State in the first phase of COVID-19 vaccination has been applauded nationally, restating the determination of the agency to sustain the impressive records of the success in the forthcoming exercise.
And on this note, I want to crave the indulgence of the good people of Taraba State to complement the efforts of government and indeed try to protect themselves by sustaining the social distancing protocol and then complementing it with the shot of the vaccination, because the two complement each other, and there is need for all of us to ensure that we maintain that. Social distancing protocol is very key and is very important so as to protect ourselves individually, our loved ones, our families, and then our friends.
He called for the cooperation of the 16 local government chairmen in the state on the COVID-19 vaccination for a safe Taraba. Naomi Philip Samuel, TV Taraba News.
The 3rd of May is celebrated annually the world over as World Press Freedom Day. The day is set aside to celebrate journalists and highlight difficulties they face in the line of duty. Our correspondent Dalunga Ezekiel Nungala took on some journalists in Jaligwe, the Taraba state capital, on the day. Her report.
Every year, World Press Freedom Day is celebrated to commemorate journalists and highlight on difficulties they face in the pursuit of their professional calling. Journalism is a profession that stands for the truth, fairness, and justice, and therefore, journalists require total freedom to pursue the sacred duty of feeding the world with balanced information. The World Press Freedom Day provides the practitioners and other social critics the grounds to remind governments across the globe on its commitment to press freedom, and also serves as a day of reflection coupled with remembrance of those who paid the supreme price. This year's World Press Freedom Day has its theme, Information as a Public Good, which underlines the importance of balanced and reliable information dissemination. Commenting on the day, the Taraba State NUJ Chairman David Nya highlighted on the fundamental principles of press freedom and also reiterates the needs for journalists to be ethical in the face of all challenges.
As it is now, the challenges we are facing is only the journalists that are up and down, informing people, educating people, creating awareness in the lives of the people, the entire world. There is no freedom as it is. There is no freedom of practicing of journalism in Nigeria. Why I say there is no freedom? Because the over censorship of our news items. Because of course we know it has to pass through process, but then the media control, even the private media nowadays, they are being controlled.
Also sharing their views on the day, two former NUJ chairmen in Taraba State, Comrade Solomon Ajiduko and Jovita Shafi, have this to say.
The function of the press in particular is to inform, to entertain, and to educate. So today, as I said, is a day that not only journalists should celebrate it, but the general public should join the journalists to celebrate it, because they too benefit immensely from this day.
Even with the coming of the Press Freedom Bill, the Press Freedom Bill appears not to be functional, because how many journalists do we have in this country that have put the Press Freedom Bill Act, the Press Freedom Bill, to action, and they have been able to achieve anything out of it? How many of them? We don't have them.
This is a day that seeks to draw attention to the contributions, sacrifices, struggles, and desirability of the press to be free and, by extension, a free world. Dalunga Ezekiel Nungala, TV Taraba News.
And with that report, we round up the news on the hour. Stay tuned for the rest of our programs.